let's get into who we are. Captain, do you want to tell
Sure,
us
I'll
about yourself?
sure I'll start. Yeah, so here we are, both of us. We're the two engineering instructors, and you'll be able to read all this. So I'm just going to go over just a couple quick highlights. So yes, most of the students do call me captain, and that's because I was in the Navy for 29 years. I was a captain of a submarine, and I've been teaching for 20 years, and the last 5 years at MOT. And as you can see, and you can read on your own, there's a lot of other things that I do here at MOT.
Yeah, and this is my 5th year teaching at MOT. I was a civil engineer for 5 years at Jacobs before I started teaching at MOT. Graduated from University of Delaware, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And again, you can read far more detail, and I'd be happy to tell you more in person.
Mr. Murphy, you want to tell them about our picture real quick if you want to go
Oh
back?
yeah, let's go back. With this translates right into what we're going to talk about. This is a picture of us at the ITEEA conference. It's an international conference that we went to last March, where we were awarded the Engineering Program Excellence Award for our curriculum that we had been working on over the past 4 years. Funny enough, right after this picture was taken, COVID was announced, schools were shut down, and we had to go home. But it was a great conference, and that actually brings me into the next slide. What we want to talk about is how we know our program and our teaching is effective. You know, one of the ways we were awarded nationally, actually internationally, from that organization. We have a career advisory board. We have, many different stakeholders reaching out and helping us communicate and develop the best and most effective curriculum. So it's not just us. It's not just our ideas, and we sort of use our own engineering design process to continually iterate and improve our engineering curriculum.
So just to give you an idea, we're not going to go into too many specifics, but if we're looking at the engineering program as a whole, here's our overall goals for the program. One is we really want to do the best job we can in preparing your students for the challenging college engineering careers, or the majors, or the STEM majors. And also we look ahead. We're trying to prepare them for future professional careers. And the second thing that we really want to do is we want to be the best and model the best high school engineering education program in Delaware that's constantly evolving, staying up with the changing times and changing industry. And I think that award that Mr. Murphy just talked about is kind of exemplifies part of the excellence that we're trying to achieve.
So a couple of things about engineering is we tend to work through project-based coursework. So engineering is going to be incredibly challenging throughout the year, but it's also going to be incredibly beneficial for many different reasons, including, academic and employability and professionalism skills as well. So we tend to work on things like teamwork, time management, problem solving, creativity. We also work on professionalism, which Captain has actually researched tremendously more. So Captain, do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
Sure, absolutely. So, one of the things that we continue to look at is what most CEOs and presidents and even college professors, what do they want for habits and skills that will help benefit students achieve academic mastery, achieve career mastery, and just to be excellent in both of those. And so we have a continuous list that we modify, and amazing enough, it pretty much stays the same. So there's things like professionalism, communication, students self-managing themselves. And so we want to make sure we integrate all those into the curriculum that we're teaching. So not only do they come out with academic mastery, but they're really, really have good habits and skills that they can take on to college and to their future careers.
And another idea we could talk about for hours is one of the fundamental ideas is how process is more important than our final, answer or outcome. There's a lot of times in this class where we're far less concerned with what the correct or your final answer is versus how you got there. So your development and growth by following some sort of process and showing evidence of how you arrived at a solution is going to tell us far more about what you know and what you understand than what your final answer is. So we're going to continue to develop and introduce projects that help showcase your process far more than just your final answer. So we also want to talk a little bit about what success looks like in engineering. So we just mentioned that process is almost as important, if not more important often than a final answer. Grades are reality, but it's only one aspect of success. It's not the entire picture. It's only a part of it. Some of the things that we really look for that leads to success, that will often lead to higher grades, is work being turned in on time and having quality work, consistently participating in classroom discussions and individual discussions, asking questions and working on your own to develop is the best quality work that you can do, always being productive in class, and then eventually showcasing all of that as a mastery of all the engineering and technical knowledge. But there are many elements to what success can truly look like. Cam, do you have anything to add to that?
Just that the things that you're seeing on this slide we're talking about is no different than what colleges expect, and no different than Mr. Murphy and I came from industry, a lot of years in industry, and it's no different than what your boss would expect. And so these are only a few of the tenets of success. It's just a highlight. And there's many more that we integrate continuously on a daily basis to try and help them develop those important habits and skills. So what can you do to help? So we're all partners in success. So we're basically looking at it. So what can parents do to help their students be successful along with us, and mainly the student themselves? So the first thing is, let them problem solve and just listen to their solution. And sometimes you just have to let them fail safely. So I found this little poster that was posted on a school's entry doors, and basically, your student forgot the lunch, and the first thing your student wants to do is call you up and tell you to come deliver the lunch to them, like whatever those delivery services are. And the best thing to do is basically say, well, you forgot your lunch, you can figure it out, and believe me, your students will not starve. They'll figure out a way to get food and all that, and they'll solve a problem. So it's the same thing with any of the problems they come up with. Just let them problem solve, listen, make sure it's a reasonable solution, and then if they have to fail sometimes, failure is the best lesson to learn from. Second thing is, let them reflect with you. Ask them once a week or even daily is, how did your day go? And let them explain it to you. So don't accept something like okay or good. That doesn't really tell you anything, but let them explain what they did on a project or what's going on in the class. And if you just respond with something like, wow, that's really interesting. Hey, can you teach me that? Can you show me and explain to me? You'll be actually helping your student learn a lot faster and a lot more productively. And then finally, another one is, we're not perfect, Mr. Murphy and I, with all our experience in industry and teaching, we're not perfect. Sometimes there's issues that come up that we want to discuss with the student, and sometimes we want to discuss with you. So we just ask you to trust us as experts. We've been doing this for a while, and we know it's successful from students, from the feedback we get from students. And the biggest thing is we want your students to succeed. And most of the issues we can solve here between the student and the instructor without the parent getting involved. And of course, if it's a major issue, then we all should get together and talk. Anything else you want to say about that, Mr. Murphy?
No, just to reiterate that we're all on the same team, is that we're giving the student the benefit of the doubt. We're giving you the benefit of the doubt with any sort of issues that we've run into, which are few and far between. We would just ask that you give us the benefit of the doubt and assume, we'll assume the best of everyone, and that we're, between the three of us, we make a great team, and that we continue to all work together.
So finally, we want to make engineering fun. Okay, we don't want to make school always like work. Yes, you got to put work in to be successful, but we want it to be fun too. And we do that, as Mr. Murphy talked about, through a lot of project-based learning. So you can see here on the slide, there's a lot of pictures of different projects that students are doing. You can see most of the pictures are all the students smiling because they are fun. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they're not successful in their final product. But as Mr. Murphy said, it's the process that counts more than anything. And so we've created and we've designed a lot of projects that helps them learn and at the same time have some fun. And even in remote learning, when we can't have hands-on, Mr. Murphy and I have gone out and really found some really cool simulations that students can do. So for example, if you look down at the bottom three pictures, there's one where the students are building electrical circuits, sort of electrical engineering online, which basically is almost the same as putting your hands on. You're just not touching the components. And then another one where you see the the person that looks like they have a Darth Vader sword or something like that, that's actually our virtual robotics program, where students actually program and build a robot virtually, which is pretty cool. And all the students' feedback from that last year was they really liked it. And then also another example is, building the blades of a wind turbine and understanding, how that affects the efficiency and the effectiveness of a wind turbine. And we do that through a wind energy virtual lab. So we have way more simulations. And actually these simulations are really so good that we found that we're going to just continue to integrate them even when the students are back face to face. So we want to make it fun also.